What's up, my 11 YouTube friends? Weekly shop update on Project Freedom. A little update on Three Fingers here too. Trenton's got his racks all back on. We got a very, very special delivery. Jamie Bernard, he's from North Carolina. You can find him on Facebook. Big, huge thanks to Jamie Bernard for sending us out a whole packet of needles and let us go through all his whole needle collection. Let us go through his needles and pick out the ones that we wanted to be able to run. Three Fingers was having a really, really bad low-end rich issue. So we're gonna try and clean up that bottom end with some needles. So Trenton changed out his needles, and I picked out a set of needles to put in Freedom also out of this pile of needles that Jamie sent us. He says, use what you need, send back whatever you don't use. Great guy. Like I said, you can find him on Facebook. One of the things he does specialize in is he bought a whole pile of these water covers from me and the water manifolds. I had a whole bunch of them, and I gave him a big package deal on the whole pile of them. This is before I needed the needles from him. Otherwise, we would have worked out some kind of a swap here. But bought a whole pile of them. What he does is he has them redone. He has them sandblasted, repowder coated back into the original colors of whatever color you're looking for. XCR 800 stuff. He has a lot of stuff like that. So find him on Facebook, Jamie Bernard. He's in almost all the Polaris groups and stuff. So he said, great guy to deal with. So thanks again, Jamie. But we got the racks all back together now for Freedom. They're ready to go back on. The other thing I was waiting for from Jamie was a fuel pump. So he actually took one out of his own running sleds, and he took it out, sent it to me, because I want to mount it underneath where the racks go. So I got to get it mounted down in here, and I wanted to mount that so I could put the racks on for hopefully one of the last times. He sent me these coil brackets too. I just sandblasted them, painted the coil brackets, got all the new hardware put in there. So the coils are all mounted now. This is on for the last time, I hope. A lot of this stuff is going in for the final time. The coolant oil reservoir is in for the final time. I actually buttoned up the back. I got the snow flap on. I got the tunnel closure back on there, and I got the snow flap on. The seat's all mounted. The tank's mounted. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is all final fit on. Final fit on the handlebars too. I put the powder coated block and stuff in place, and I made a little bracket down here to mount some switches. I'm going to, for this tack, it's nice to have a 12-volt source that you can switch on when the sled's off, so you can go back through the memory read. You can see your maximum RPMs, you can see your max speed. There's a bunch of things you can play back if you have a 12-volt source. So what I'm gonna do, let me move the blanket here to keep the cat off the seat. I got a shop cat. A lot of people always question, they'll put in the comments, and I love them. I love all the comments, and I always answer everything. Always like, why you always have blankets on all your seats? I have a shop cat, and he's managed to tag a couple of the seats around here over the years. So I always have to keep blankets on my seats. So I found this bracket on Amazon. It was $10 or something. It holds a Milwaukee battery. So I think I'm gonna mount that down on the backside, the clutch cover here somewhere, down in here. And then I can feed 12 volt to that one switch. One of my switches here is gonna be designated to be able to power up that tack when the sled is off. So I got the voltage regulator, bought one of the upgraded ones. You can find these just about any place I deal with, HPE or Fowler Electric. They carry them, but these are the upgraded voltage regulators. I've got it mounted in there now, and I found a good grounding lug to ground all my grounds to. Cleaned all the powder coating off both sides of the bulkhead so that when the bolt goes through, it's touching clean aluminum. That's the one thing, you get something powder coated, it's a biatch trying to scrape that powder coat off, so you got a clean surface so your grounds will actually work. Very key on when you do something powder coating. Even up on your water manifolds and stuff, you got to ground anything up here, you got to make sure you scrape that powder coating off so that your ground is getting a good ground. So I'm going to start this week. My goal is actually, and I hope I don't jinx anything here, but my goal is by this weekend to fire this thing up. I've gone around it. I've had parts showing up non-stop for this thing. Just simple things like this, a temperature gauge and stuff. And I'm thinking way ahead right now, and I'm going around. I've made several lists now, and I'm pretty sure that I have everything here right now to be able to complete this build. Oh, I had a custom brake line made. Where in the hell is that brake line? I wanted to show you the brake line. Let me look. Ah, here it is. Neighbor Josh with the Mach Z. God dang it, man. That video was awesome. Everybody loved that sled. Had me this red brake line. He's like, Todd, it's all about the details. You got to do a red brake line. So he had that custom made for me at Pertex. Pretty awesome. Maybe I showed that in the last video. I might have forgotten, but I had to show it again anyways, just in case everybody else forgot about it. So it's about all I got going on. Hope everybody had a great New Year's. We did. We spent it up at the cabin. We had a great time. My brother and sister-in-law came up, so I hope everybody else enjoyed a nice New Year's. Got the water pump actually put back on too. Like I said, most of these things are actually going on for the final time. It takes so much time, even when you do a restore. You know, a couple of the guys that do full restores on these things too, they talk about the put together, take apart, put together, take apart, put together, take apart. It is nonstop like that. It's you put things together 10 times and take it apart 14 times. And it's crazy how it works that way. But you walk around, you decide, no, that ain't fitting right, and I need to actually get this part in before that one, and so now I gotta take that back out to do that. So you're always kind of constantly trying to think ahead to make sure you're not doing everything 15 times, but I try and I still do it 15 or 20 times. It's the way it is. But so a lot of things are going on permanently now. I think things are gonna come together this week. The wiring, I got everything for the fuel system. I got everything for the wiring now. I got all the stuff to cover the wiring. I've got everything here. I've got the shutoffs. I got the fuel filters. I mean, everything. Amazon knows my address because, oh, I even got a couple of these so I can make recoil guides for the recoils for the rope guides. I'm going to put this. We got one for Trenton's too because last year we couldn't come up with anything reasonable. So he just rocked it this way. Ran his pull cord handle down here, right there. Not really the way to do it. Wasn't ideal, but that's just the way we ripped it. I'm going to make a couple brackets somehow up off of the brake bracket here and run my recoil right up, my handle up here, down to the recoil. So I ordered up a couple of these Amazon item again. I love Amazon. Never was an Amazon guy, but see, I got all my shutoffs and my fuel filters sitting up here and stuff. I just keep piling stuff up on top of Ratfish here. So I'm gonna make the fixture for this finally. I got a lot of guys asking about them. This thing was taking precedent. This was my main concern. So that's kind of why I was snoozing on that triple can. I brought it out that I actually had one done. They're sweet. They make some racket, I can tell you that. Trenton put about 40 miles this weekend on cheapo. We went on about a 20-some mile ride yesterday. Me and Mike took our daughters out, and Trenton tagged along. My brother Troy rode a snowmobile on a snowmobile trail for the first time in probably 40 years. But yeah, he thought it was pretty fun. He rode Freebie. And so, but we did about 20 miles yesterday, and Trenton was riding cheapo, and he says the thing is just a freaking beast. Mike even rode it one time too, and Mike came back and says, yeah, this thing is a freaking animal. So cheapo should be a fun sled to ride. Trenton thinks we're going to be fighting over constantly of who gets to ride it. I haven't even really ridden it. I rode it around the backyard like twice, but that didn't really do anything for me. I never rode it all weekend. I came down with the crud that's going around with everybody, and I was actually kind of down and out yesterday. I actually went to bed at 8 o'clock last night. I didn't even get to stay up to see the New Year's. Everybody was having a good time, and I wasn't feeling it. So I put myself to bed, and I spent 12 hours in bed, and that's like the first time in like a year I spent 12 hours in a bed. Last time I spent 12 hours, I was sick that time too. So anyways, guys, thanks for all the views. Thanks for watching. The Storm, the 93, is getting a new home soon. The guy's going to come pick it up. Just had it sitting here waiting for him. So thanks, everybody. See you in the next video.